Welcome back to Astrology, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin, and today I'm going to be doing your May 2021 horoscopes. I strongly suggest that you watch the horoscope for your ascendant sign or your rising sign. If you have time to watch for your sun and moon as well, go for it. But if you're only going to watch one today, let it be for your ascendant sign. Now, if you want to skip this short but exciting intro where I make an announcement, you can head to the timestamp in the description box below. But for those of you who are sticking around, I've just launched 3 new services on my website, kastrology.com. The first one is the half-yearly report, and this is an astrological look at the next 6 months and what kind of energies and new developments you may encounter in your life. The second one is a solar return chart reading, and this is a look at the 12 months ahead for you. This reading is suitable for you if you have just had a birthday or if you are about to have a birthday, because it looks at the 12 months between birthday to birthday. And thirdly, I've launched a Saturn return reading. So if you are currently going through your Saturn return, which means you have your natal Saturn in Aquarius, like I do myself, then this is an ideal reading for you. You can find those at kastrology.com, and I will leave a link in the description box below. And now let's get to the horoscopes. Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your May 2021 horoscope. The month starts off with your ruling planet Mercury entering your sign Gemini on the 4th of May, followed closely by Venus entering Gemini on the 9th of May. With Mercury and Venus both transiting your first house, you'll find yourself being a lot busier than usual. You may be more social, you may be picking up the phone more or just texting your friends. You could definitely be in very high demand when it comes to people wanting to catch up with you and talk to you on the phone. On the 12th of May, there will be a new moon in Taurus at 21 degrees, and this is in your 12th house. And it's sextiling Neptune at 22 degrees in your 10th house. New moons always indicate some kind of new beginning or new chapter starting in our life. And with new moons, it's all about planting the seeds and setting those intentions for what you want to manifest. So with the new moon being in your 12th house, some of you may be planting the seeds for some kind of artistic or creative pursuit. This could be with regard to writing poetry, taking up photography or videography. It could be in relation to musical pursuits as well, because the 12th house is connected to music, and the sextile to Neptune is also representative of music. And with the new moon in Taurus, on a different level, if it's not an artistic or creative pursuit, some of you may be delving into the world of spirituality and the occult. So perhaps you're buying your first tarot deck. Maybe you are deciding that you want to start studying your own astrological birth chart. In any case, whatever you do with this new moon, it's actually going to have a supportive and beneficial effect on your professional life and your professional career. Now, the 12th house rules anything which is hidden and which is done in secret. So this new moon in Taurus may be something that you are very private about, this new chapter starting. Maybe you don't want to tell anyone that you've started, learning about photography. Maybe you don't want to tell your family and friends that you are learning about tarot and astrology and anything to do with spirituality or the occult. For some of you Geminis, you may discover a connection to a loved one who has actually passed on. You may receive some kind of message from them from beyond the grave, and they could actually reveal some kind of insight or nugget of truth which supports you and your direction in life and what you want to do with your career and your professional life. On a different note, some of you may be planting the seeds to live abroad and relocate from where you're currently living, because the 12th house is one of the houses which represents foreign countries and foreign lands. And with the 12th house, the distinction between the 12th and the 9th is that the 9th house can represent just any old different country to the one that you're living in, whereas the 12th house would be like a total culture shock. So for example, it would represent a country where you don't speak the language, where it's totally different from where you live, or it could be something which is halfway around the world. Now, on the 14th of May, Jupiter will enter the sign of Pisces, and this will be in your 10th house. Jupiter will remain in your 10th house for about 11 weeks, okay? So this transit is going to last until the end of July, and Jupiter will not re-enter Pisces until later in 2021, towards the end of the year. So this is really going to show you somewhat of a snapshot as to what you can expect for when Pisces re-enters, for when Jupiter re-enters Pisces at the end of 2021. So Jupiter naturally rules Pisces. So you could say that Jupiter likes being in the sign of Pisces. And given that this is in your 10th house of career, professional life, and public visibility, whatever situation you are currently experiencing in your career, this will be expanded, amplified, and magnified. And often we expect Jupiter transiting any house to bestow abundance and amazing opportunities. But really, Jupiter will expand whatever current situation is occurring. So for example, if you love your career, if you love your job, you're in your dream job and it's going amazing and you're just excited to take the next step, Jupiter transiting your 10th house is going to put that on steroids. You're going to have the best time in your career. You're going to see all these new opportunities and career growth, and it's going to be really exciting. And you may even have a new boss. You know, if you work for an employer or a company, let's just say you're not self-employed, you may have a new boss walk on the scene and you absolutely love them because they're amazing. Now, let's just say hypothetically that you hate your job, you hate your career, you know, you think it's shit, you hate getting up in the morning, you can't wait to leave this job. Jupiter transiting your 10th house is going to amplify this feeling. If you hate your work right now, you're going to hate it even more once Jupiter transits your 10th house, okay? So it's really important, Gemini, to make sure that you love what you're doing and that you start acting on opportunities that come your way to improve your situation with respect to your career. I would argue that advice is good advice for any area of your life, but specifically speaking with your career and your public visibility, Jupiter here is going to light that right up. So it's really important that you are taking as many steps as possible to improve your current situation. Another thing to be mindful of is that you will be very visible to the public eye at this time. So at best, you will come across as wise, knowledgeable, capable, honest, confident, and someone whose advice can be trusted. The downfall or the negative side of Jupiter in the 10th house could show you at worst coming across as arrogant and greedy. But Jupiter is a planet which represents truth. What I'm trying to say here, Gemini, is that what is on the inside is going to be very visible on the outside at a professional level and in terms of your public visibility. If you are honest and ethical and you have a high level of integrity and you have unconditional love and compassion for other people, this is absolutely going to shine, and it's going to shine really brightly out of you. If there's something on the inside that you need to heal, and especially with regard to how you feel about other people in your life and your one-on-one relationships, this is going to come out as well, because Jupiter doesn't just rule your 10th house, which is Pisces, it also rules your 7th house of relationships. So if you are unhappy in any kind of relationship, whether that's with your marriage partner, your significant other, your business partnership, or even your close one-on-one friendships, all of this is going to come spilling out with Jupiter transiting your 10th house. Now, something else to consider is that Jupiter transiting your 10th house can bestow exciting new travel opportunities which are connected to your career. Now, on the 21st of May, which is my birthday, the Sun is going to enter the sign of Gemini, which means that Gemini season is starting. So you're going to have the Sun, Mercury, and Venus all in your first house. And Gemini, the spotlight is absolutely going to be on you. You're absolutely going to shine over the next month while Gemini season is carrying on. And if you are wanting to take some kind of risk with regard to your career, given that you now have Jupiter in Pisces in your 10th house, I would actually wait until after the 21st of May when you also have the Sun in your first house, because this is going to make you come across as someone who has more vitality, more joie de vivre, and also you're just going to be very excitable. You're going to come across as someone who has exciting new ideas and as though people should be paying attention to you, which they should be anyway. Now, on the 23rd of May, Saturn will be retrograde in Aquarius in your 9th house. Saturn goes retrograde for about 5 months every year, so it will be retrograde until around the 1st or 2nd week of October. With Saturn being retrograde in your 9th house, you may experience some kind of obstacle or challenge in your higher education. So if you are currently enrolled in some kind of university or college degree or master's or PhD program, there may be challenges and obstacles here. Now, if you're looking at enrolling, there may be a delay in your enrollment. And for some of you, you may just have to push pause on your education for 6 months. You may take a 6-month study break. That's another way that this can play out. Now, for some of you, if you've been planning an overseas trip, this is something which you may experience delays or some kind of challenge with, because the 9th house rules travel and Saturn rules obstacles, and also Saturn is naturally connected with delays and obstacles and challenges, and when it's in retrograde it makes it that much harder. And Saturn rules governments and anything of a bureaucratic nature, so you may have some kind of government imposed restriction or limitation, which is the reason for why you're unable to travel or why your travel plans have been delayed. Now, if it's not manifesting for you on the education front or on the travel front, some of you may have been trying to achieve some kind of position, some kind of advisory position, or even it could be something related to becoming a professor, a religious figure, a spiritual figure, or some kind of guru. So you may have some kind of bureaucratic hoops to jump through, or there may be some kind of issue with the hierarchical structure within these organizations or within these establishments. Just remember that Saturn retrograde doesn't mean never, it means delays and obstacles, okay? So you can absolutely still achieve this this figurehead level or this, professor title. It's just that you may have to wait a little while, and it could be around October or even November. Now, lastly, with Saturn being retrograde in your 9th house, you may experience this transit as feeling like you are going through a period of pessimism, or you may be having like a rewiring of your philosophical beliefs or your spiritual beliefs or your religious beliefs. Saturn in the 9th house can sort of be a blocker between you and your higher faith, and also you and your higher self. You may not believe in God or a God, you may be agnostic, you may be atheist, but Saturn retrograde here makes you question whatever religion you're a part of or whatever faith you subscribe to. So if you're someone who has always been quite religious or quite spiritual, and you feel like you are not able to access this deity or this God or your higher self, as I mentioned, just know that it is going to be a temporary thing, but it's because this transit is asking you to look inwards rather than look externally for some kind of validation of an omnipotent being or something of a higher existence. You have all of the answers within you, Gemini. You don't really need to look beyond yourself to access this intuition or this inner guidance and wisdom. I really wasn't intending for the horoscope to go along this plane, but nonetheless, on the 26th of May, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse in Sagittarius in your 7th house of partnerships, and it's going to be at 5 degrees. So the people that will be the most impacted by this full moon total lunar eclipse are the mutable signs. So that's Gemini, Pisces, Virgo, and of course Sagittarius. So when we have a full moon eclipse activation by opposition, which means that this eclipse is taking place in the sign opposite you, which is Sagittarius, this eclipse is really concerned with the other, okay? So that's your significant other, your spouse, your business partner, a close one-on-one friend. This could actually be your maternal grandmother because it's the 4th house from the 4th house, so that's your mother's mother. Or this could actually be pertaining to your second born child. There will be some kind of event or the ending of a cycle in one of those individuals' lives. It could even be more than one person. And for you, Gemini, this could actually be the end of a relationship or the end of a marriage. And the reason for that is that lunar eclipses are always associated with the full moon. If you've been watching my horoscopes for a while, you will know that full moons are always associated with endings, completion, and something reaching culmination. I'm not saying that every single Gemini who's in a relationship is going to see the end of that relationship. It's just something to be mindful of. Now, regarding those aforementioned individuals, so your significant other, business partner, a friend, your second born child, or your mother's mother, they could just achieve some kind of milestone in their life, or they may be undergoing some kind of really big change. So they may actually require your support, Gemini. And eclipses often bring about events which are unexpected or unpredictable in nature, and this tends to happen within 10 days from the eclipse. So it could be 10 days before or 10 days after. And once again, I'm referring to the 26th of May. Now, on the 30th of May, Mercury will be retrograde in Gemini. So this is in your 1st house. And it's in my 1st house because I'm a Gemini rising. So not really looking forward to it. But nonetheless, this retrograde will take place from the 30th of May until the 23rd of June. Mercury is the natural ruler of both Gemini and Virgo. So for you guys, Gemini, this is going to have a huge impact on you. Mercury retrograde already naturally impacts Virgos and Geminis like a lot, but when it's in your actual sign, it's like a Mercury retrograde but on steroids. So for you guys, this could play out in a number of different ways. you'll be very, very busy, okay? That's not even a potential, that's an absolute given. There will be something in your life which has you being completely flat out. You'll be on the phone constantly, you'll be on the email, you'll just have to deal with some kind of situation which takes up all of your attention. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. This could be a project that you're working on that you're really, really into, and you're just like, obsessed with working on it. But the thing is, retrogrades usually pose some kind of issue or challenge, or you have to like redesign something or restructure something. So if it's a project that you're working on, whether that is your own project or a work project, you could just be tweaking it a lot. You could be working with your colleagues and with clients to get something over the line. Something which you've already completed could kind of come back to haunt you, or it could just be something that you thought was done and dusted, but hey, all of a sudden you've got to work on it all over again. And for some of you, you could hear from people in your life who you are estranged from. Exes, lovers, friends, co-workers, people you used to work with, siblings that you no longer speak to, relatives that you no longer speak to, could absolutely just be coming out of the woodwork, left, right, and center. This always happens with Mercury retrograde anyway, but given that it's in the sign of Gemini, you'll see this like a lot. Now, with Mercury being retrograde in your sign, just be mindful of miscommunications. You could be required to, you could have issues with your daily plans. Meetings are cancelled, things are delayed, short-term travel plans are cancelled or delayed. You rock up to the movies and it's like the wrong day or the wrong time. All kinds of annoying, befuddling situations can occur, especially when Mercury is retrograde in Gemini. So on that note, Gemini, enjoy your season. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please give the video a thumbs up. Enjoy May 2021, Gemini, and I will see you guys next month.